Muy buena gente, ¿qué tal estamos? Bienvenidos al vídeo de la colaboración con Wade Iverson, uno de los mejores jugadores del mundo, el cual ya analizamos recientemente, en aquel vídeo que os pedí la meta de 1000 likes y cumplisteis de sobrísima. Lo dicho, tenía muchas ganas de hablar con él, porque la verdad que es un chaval súper interesante a la hora de estudiar TFT. Y bueno, en este vídeo dos cositas, ¿vale? Está grabado en inglés, he comprobado el tema de los subtítulos, funciona bastante bien. Hay alguna palabra que se le escapa, pero yo creo que el 80-90% de la conversación se entiende, así que diría que no hay ningún fallo. En cualquier caso, si no lo entendéis, me avisáis y para la próxima vez que haga una colaboración de estilo, podemos mirar otras posibilidades, ¿vale? Aparte de eso, bueno, el rol que yo tomo en este vídeo es intentar aprovechar para hacerle el máximo de preguntas posible, ya que es a lo que venimos, ¿no? A intentar exprimir esa jugosa información de este señor. Y nada, espero que os guste la dinámica, chavales, que lo disfrutéis. Curiosamente, vuelve a ser una partida de Garen, porque aparentemente a este señor le gusta mucho Garen y sabe aprovecharlo al máximo. Y nada, que disfrutéis el vídeo, amigos míos. Hey guys, happy to have you here. I'm joined by Wei Iverson. We're getting together to talk about a TFT a little bit. He's going to try to explain the professional point of view of the things, and I'm just going to ask a lot of questions. So how are you feeling today, man?
I'm feeling really good. Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to do this video. And yeah, this is like a bit of a new thing for me, so I am very excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of weird because not a lot of people do this format in TFT, right? There's not like people working together or like sharing their thoughts on videos. So maybe we find something cool here. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So first
Yeah, I know I
off,
haven't
a
really.
bit of a meme question. What do you think about these new galaxies, like this ball bouncing around? Do you like care for them, or it just doesn't really matter?
I'm really happy that they're just adding like new galaxies in general because I felt like last patch I was playing like lots of games since it was the first patch, and there was only maybe like 5 to 10 galaxies, and they could get like pretty stale pretty fast. So even like no encounter or like this like beach ball feels a bit like fresh and new, which I'm happy about.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, just a little bit of change is always good. So walk me through these early shops. You're prioritizing all of these Battle Academia, Prodigy, and Bastion units. Is that just because you had pairs? You like this opener?
Yeah, a little bit of a combination of both. I had like the Garen pair, and obviously like the Rel and the Syndra are gonna fit well with that. I don't really think like Kale is like too good of an early unit. And also just on the patch, there's like this is right after the D patch just came out, so I'm thinking that Prodigies is probably gonna be really strong on this patch because they just nerfed like Akali and Volley Bear.
Sure. Makes sense. So what are we looking at
So
here, these augments? We're probably not picking a left, right? Because mentors are kind of dead, I guess. Or
yeah, Mentor's not great here. This is also like the worst Mentor augment. Like the other one is like more appealing, so I don't really see anything for that. Someone just called Crew. I wasn't really going to play Crew. This augment used to be like really overpowered, but they just nerfed it. I would probably consider it around average, and I don't really have any reroll direction. I'd say my strongest direction is probably like Prodigy right now.
sure.
Um,
So,
on my scout, this guy is also a bit Prodigy leaning, and this guy's also a bit Prodigy leaning. So that might make it hard. I would assume this guy's like Sorks. This guy maybe like Duelist or something. But right now, I'm definitely thinking about like taking Thorn Plated because I'm not that appealing with this,
okay,
and I'm just gonna take the Thorn Plated and pick it up.
great. So I've heard you talk a lot about this Garen unit. Like after the buff, you mentioned that he was probably a bit overtuned in the sense that like maybe he can even tank late game. Do you still think that after testing it a little bit, or have you changed your mind?
Yeah, I definitely think that. Like, I think this is like the exact spot that I really like to play around like a Garen, which is like we don't even need to 3-star him because the flat HP that he gets doesn't really change much from 2-star to 3-star. And we have an early Garen 2 with like 2 item slams. So he's going to be like extremely tanky, getting like tons of stacks in the early game. We already have like the 3 Battle Academia because you won't get any stacks without the 3 Battle Academia. So even at this point, I'm already looking to like play Prodigies and probably stay on like a Garen tank for like the entire game.
Hmm.
And by the end of the game, he'll probably have like like 2,000-ish extra HP from the stacks.
Okay, and that's the star student really helps out with that kind of math, I guess, right? Yeah,
Actually, the Star Student is pretty weak in the early game because we don't have like any stacks right now. So I was thinking of going for better. I just didn't
okay,
really like my other options.
sure.
But yeah, I was gonna level up. I probably should have done that last turn. And I think standalone is really good here. It can be a little awkward late game because you can get wrapped or something if you're solo frontlining. But in the early game, it's like a lot of combat power, and it's gonna be like really good with the 2-item Garen. Really tanky.
What do you
Get a
think
lot of
about buying
stacks.
these like extra Garen units? Like, is there ever a consideration that even if you don't reroll, if you like kind of natural into a Garen 3, is that something that would ever happen? Or
Yeah, I mean these other units on our bench are not really doing too much, so I'm definitely down to buy them and like hold them as long as they're free. But I would choose to make like econ over holding it.
okay, so like really no diff between Garen 2 and Garen 3. That's interesting. Okay, great, great. So looking like a
Yeah,
sweet spot from this point on, just like a strong Garen early game. Are you like worried
Mhm.
about like for me the main concern in these kind of situations is when I'm slamming these tank items, sometimes I get stuck on like suboptimal damage items. But do you think like Prodigy can overcome these kind of situations? It doesn't really matter that much for them.
I think one thing that's like a bit unique about Prodigy is like the comp actually really likes like two sets of tank line items. Like normally you would have like Leona and Cassante, but here we could do like Garen and Leona or like Garen and Cassante or something like that. So I feel like I'm not too worried about having too many tank items in like Prodigies specifically.
Okay. So like what about this Morello? Is this like Morello not good enough of an item? Like,
Um, I would be willing to slam Morello if I felt like it wins me the fight, but I'm just like seeing who I'm fighting, and like I'm very confident that I'm like winning these fights already. So I'm just gonna like leave these components unslammed to have the flexibility. Like maybe I want to make like a Spirit Visage and finish like 3 item Garen off the
mhm.
carousel and get like a lot more stacks with that.
Okay. Do you think that there's like some flexibility to the game nowadays where you can open on this kind of tank opener and just like swap into some other comp? I don't know, like an Ash with a Guinsus, or is it just like way easier to stick to your gut and just play Prodigy?
I think it's a lot easier to just stick to my guns and playing Prodigy. The one thing that I would be worried about is I saw like this guy, for example, he's like almost hard committed Prodigy, I would say, with like the Syndra 2 Archangel. And this guy also definitely feels like he wants to play Prodigy, like fully adapted, can often go on like the Prodigy front line, and he has like a Garen too. So I guess the one thing that I'm a little bit worried about is just being contested.
Okay.
And yeah, here's just a really good component here. I would really be happy with like Archangel, Void, and Fear Visage. So
We're probably focusing on
I can
triple
use a
item
lot of
first, I
fears.
guess, right? And then
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about doing the triple item Garen, and like Rod and Bow can both become backline item really easily. So even though I have 3 tank items, I'm not too worried about getting too many backline items. Also, it's probably just the strongest on my board since I get to make 3 items on the same guy.
mm. So I guess this is not much of a technical question, but I don't know. It probably happens to other people as well. Like, how do you like force yourself not to be so impatient with certain decisions? Like, I will just find myself slamming beforehand whenever I don't need to in certain spots, just because it's like I don't know. I play so much TFT that I'm like eager to do stuff. Does that ever happen to you, or are you just okay like chilling and waiting for the right moment?
Yeah, I would say I've just made it like a habit, and like I've also noticed like a lot of times when I get like kind of rewarded for this style of play, like let's say I'm like, oh, I win, so I don't slam, and then maybe I natural like a forecast in my next shop, and then oh, now that because I have these like open components, I can actually like play around that forecast. Whereas like if I had slammed too early, then I wouldn't be able to play around it. So yeah, I think it's just like a really good habit to have of just like waiting to slam your items. But it does require like good fight judgment, and I've definitely been like punished before where oh I think I win this fight, I won't slam, and then I lose, and it's like kind of embarrassing
Oh yeah, that
on like
hurts for
stream or
sure.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool. We're playing Prodigy. Looks like a pretty good opener. Chilling. This Garen just refuses to die. How much is he stacked now? Like 160 HP. That's pretty sweet for
Yeah,
stage 2.
10 stacks. The
Yeah.
stacks definitely becomes like a lot more in, like stage 3 and 4. And it kind of feels like exponential. Like once he has like a few hundred HP, he's like pretty much unkillable, and then he'll just, keep stacking.
So I was testing something the other day. I wanted to know what you thought about this. Is it like ever worth it to go out of your way and not play the standard Prodigy board? That's like 5 Prodigy, so sorry, 5 Battle Academia for Prodigy, and play vertical Battle Academia for the scaling? Or is it just too many bad units to justify the
Uh,
extra HP?
you mean with Garen specifically?
Yeah. Like just like imagine you roll down on 4-1, right? And you've got like 7 Battle
Mhm.
Academia. It's not the standard Prodigy board, but would you like ever consider that for the extra HP, or it doesn't really matter that much?
I feel like if I was playing Prodigies, I would probably just stick to 5 Battle Academia unless I had like an emblem.
Hmm.
Like the 5 to 7 jump is like not that huge, but one line that I was actually like theory crafting a little bit was just like tanking a Garen 2 and like the Jace Caitlyn reroll line. And like then we would be able to play like 7 Battle Academia. And yeah, we would be able to save like a lot of gold, like not buying like Rakan 3, which people often make in that line, and we would just like tank a Garen 2 with like a lot of extra HP. So that was one line that I was theory crafting. And
I,
the reason that we're probably going to a Prodigy direction instead of that this game is just because of like the rod,
sure.
which is like not a very good component in
I've actually
facing
kind of
Caitlyn.
stumbled up into that direction like naturally recently, like without even trying and just having a similar spot to yours, but a good Caitlyn opener. And he seemed fine, like even for stage 6 as a tank. So just like very broken off overall. Oh, these items hurt a bit.
Yeah, so this is kind of like we were kind of hoping to avoid this, like when we made the anima, like we got dropped to like 2 tank components. So it's a bit awkward. What I'm probably gonna do here is just wait 1 round, and look for like a big grab bag Pandora's items type of augment that lets me like reforge or like reroll some of these tank components and make
So,
backline.
what would be like the worst item you're willing to slam to make up for these items? Like, is it Gwyn's like ever an option just to save HP? We're just reading everything.
Um, I think it would be like a stone plate and then maybe move one of the tank items off of Garen, but because I think if I make a Ginsu, then I kind of have to not play Prodigy anymore.
Okay,
And it's especially with this amount of money, it's kind of like hard to pivot into like an entirely different board, I
sure.
feel like. But yeah, here the goal is like really just to wait for the augment and like see if maybe we get some sort of like a bailout that will like save us from the spot
Hmm. Yeah, the
from
losing
these
the wins
items.
was really a bummer. Just that scaling backline. Sometimes, I
Yeah.
guess. Hmm.
Yeah, this he's like last second save, which is like super strong combat augment, I find.
Even after the nerf, or just like overall, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, even after the nerf, I still think it's like one of the strongest combat augments. It's just like an extra like 20% HP on your entire team, which is like super, super good for gold.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so here I'm thinking about like magic roll right away. Keeper's like a bit awkward with like the solo frontline, like Bramble, and another one doesn't really have much value here. I guess it gives us like one component, but um, it's like kind of an underpowered augment and doesn't do too much. And this like I think certain like if we could get dropped like a bunch of backline items, or if we could get like some econ, we're actually pretty poor here, like level 540. So I'm leaning towards that. For
Okay.
high voltage, we already have enough tank items, so I think I'm just gonna click the magic roll, and I'm pretty happy with like econ or like backline items here. That's what I'm really hoping for. So we did
Okay.
end up getting components.
Oh,
We got
that's
4
sweet.
bows, and it comes with a reforger, so that's like a pretty big bailout for our spot. I would say if we can just make like a red buff, and
Um,
we might actually have to reforge like a full item here because there's not really a way to kill all these bows. So I'm thinking of reforging like red buff plus chain right now.
okay. Just maybe double the full item or only one full item? Like also the gargoyles?
Um, We yeah, I guess we could do like red buff gargoyle and bow, but I mean cloak could be like a backline adaptive or something.
Sure. Makes sense. Yeah. Cool.
And reporting 2 items is like a little too risky. So Edge of Night is not great, but it's not the worst, I would
It's
say.
playable. Yeah, it's not a death blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you have like considered picking, how do you call it? What's the augment? The one that gives you 2 Nikos and money? I don't know the name of it. So would you have picked that one? Like considering you have 6 Garens here? Like
Yeah, I think this would actually be like a really interesting spot where yeah, I would be willing to take it because I'm poor, it gives me some money, and we could get like the Garen 3, which would be like
sweet.
it's like really good, but it's not worth rerolling for, I guess. But
Great.
if we could get it for free, then we would be happy.
Sure. I mean, the augment still gave you items, so I guess like overall it was pretty worth it. Like just based
Mhm.
on that. How would you like say your spot? What do you think you would average out from this point on?
I would say I would like top 4 like very often from the spot, but maybe not win too often just because I'm a little bit worried about the backline items. So like average maybe like a 3.5 though. Like I would say I'm quite happy,
That's
even
good.
with the kind of awkward items.
I mean, considering this all comes from a Garen 2-star, that sounds pretty sweet.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, now at this point that we're actually like quite like it's quite realistic to just hit like two Garens and like level 8. So I probably will be holding these Garens for like the rest of the game and looking for the 3-star.
Are you like in these specific lines, by the way, like when you already know what you're playing from early on, or are you on the side of trying to keep all your fruit removers to get something like very strong, like Bullet Hell or Super Genius for Yumi, or it doesn't really matter, just go with the flow. I'll have standalone now. I'll switch it later if I need. Is that something that goes through your mind, or not really?
I would say it's like a little bit of both. Like we actually already used one fruit remover, right? Because like we were really unhappy with the first 3 options. Is like Living Wall and Star Student doesn't do anything early on Garen, and there's like one more that I think it was like a scaling option maybe, but not a good one. So yeah, I was willing to use like the fruit remover because I thought it was kind of bad there, but I do agree that there's like certain comps that you really want to try and greet it. Here I'm going to go for Void Staff because this bow, since we already have red buff, it can really only be like Void and GS.
And
And I
Void,
think Void is probably the better of those. So I'm just going for tier and finish the Void Staff.
sure.
And Open Rod's like a lot more flexible. We could do like Deathcap, Gunblade, JG, Archangel.
So it's not really like a necessity to have an Archangels. I know for the item economy, this is way better. but like Archangel is not like really mandatory for Yumi, you know?
I would say it's not mandatory. It is probably her best item, but like if we don't have Archangels, we have like a heavy crit build, we can fish for like a Super Genius power up, which is kind of going to act like an Archangel. And yeah, maybe if we have like a Death Cap JG, that's going to be like enough AP or
Okay.
like a decent amount of AP.
So I know like this positioning is great for early game, and especially because there's like no Braums or anything. When do you think it's not that great to play around this solo tank Garen, or when would you like change the anomaly? Is that like a concern for stage 4 or not ever?
Um, I think it definitely could become a concern. Like last patch with like all the Volibears and Akali's running around, I feel like you almost had to get off this because you would just like be guaranteed to be like getting wrapped by like Volibear and stuff. I think that there's a lot of people playing backline comps. You can like kind of read this positioning a lot more. But yeah, definitely in stage 4, it's probably a bit of a scout thing. Like we'll look around in stage 4, see if there's anyone who's like kind of punishing our positioning, like maybe some like Volibear players or like melee carry kind of things.
And are
And
you
if everyone's just front to back, we can probably stay on it.
and are you always going for like the solo front line and everybody else like in the last row, or is there like any reason to put them a little bit further, like similar to what you're doing now, or one step ahead?
Oh yeah. So here, like the reason, well, partially it's because of standalone, but we also want to get like Bramble value. If like all of their guys kind of wrap our Garen, then the Bramble is going to be doing like a lot of damage and also healing our Garen for a lot with the Thorn plated armor.
Sure.
And if we had a Stone plate, it would be like a similar thing where we get like more Stone plate value, like the more guys who are targeting our Garen.
Sure thing. Sure thing. Cool. So I mean, let's hope we're not facing Guba again, right, to lose that win streak, because that would kind of
Mhm.
it will kind of mess with our economy again. We actually ended up being able to hold those Garens, so maybe we get that Garen 3-star. It's actually kind
Yeah,
of funny
what up now?
because the last video I commented about you, you were also playing Garen with an artifact, so I guess this is just like a Garen only channel at the moment.
Yeah, I do really like this unit. They recently buffed it, and I already felt it was strong even before the buffs. So yeah, I feel like it's really strong. But definitely the spot for it would be like a similar spot that we had this game with like Garen 2, early 3 Battle Academia, and like at least one item slam, like if not two.
Sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Great. So, considering we're like partially contested, we're the person that has less money than the other one, right? So, are we still kind of like
Yeah.
gambling on 4-2, or do we need to feel the rush to all really roll early on?
Yeah, so like my general rule is like if there's like two contesters, then I will definitely try to like sometimes even like roll on the wolves and like take an econ augment so that we can do that. But there's actually only one contester. The other guy ended up slamming like a Kraken and stuff. So I think it's only just me and Gooba who are playing prodigies. And this guy we know he sorks because he has a Shojin. So one-way contested is not too bad. Even if we're rolling second, we can still feel pretty confident. And in this spot, just because we didn't really get offered any econ augments, or like we didn't really want to take them in our spot, then yeah, we're probably just going to be rolling second, and we're just going to have to like accept that. And yeah, that's
It's
fine
just
since we're
life.
only one-way contested.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So,
I think a lot of people would be tempted to like 4-1 here to keep the streak, but if we spend 48 gold, we're only going to have like 14 gold left over, which is really not enough to change our board. So here I'm kind of just inclined to hope that I'm fighting someone weak to keep my streak. My board is actually pretty good right now. And
so how are we dealing with this item situation?
yeah, the item situation, as I said, like prodigies, we can kind of use two sets of damage items, or two sets of tank items, sorry. So we actually have one set of like backline items basically already with like the death cap, void, red buff. Of course, the void red buff is not going to want to end the game on Yumi.
Mhm.
But I feel pretty okay about like slamming those for now. And these are just going to become like a second set of tank items for Leona.
Sure. Sure, sure. Makes a lot of sense. I don't think this was a slam diff. I mean, we were talking, so I guess it's just natural for some things to go slower, but it doesn't look like a
Yeah.
slam diff. And are you like ever considering going 4-5 since you're that poor, or we can't really agree that hard?
No, I am definitely thinking about 4-5. Hold line seems a little awkward with the. I definitely don't think it's this because we already have like tons of items. This we already have red buff, so maybe it would be hold the line. It's like a little awkward with standalone, but we could get off the standalone, and prodigies do like the flat like AP a lot. So that's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now.
Okay.
I think Call to Chaos is a decent option, thinking about like some of the stuff we could get. Like Triple Hull Crusher is probably not that great. Triple Sniper is probably decent. I find the RNG Golems to be not too great. The Econ options are probably pretty good. I think I might do what you suggested though, and I'll just take like the combat augment, hold the line, which I feel like should be pretty decent here. And we got off standalone, and then we're going to 4-5 it.
Okay. And like we have about 5 frontliners, right? So that should probably make up for it. What's that, like 50
Yeah,
AP or so 40 AP or something, right?
and regenerative, I actually think this is the best power up on Garen because his spell is a heal, so this makes his spell stronger. So I really like this power up on Garen.
So you benefit from the extra HP and from the spell. It's just like a double down kind of situation. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're greeting it a little bit harder so we can make up for the econ difference. And are we like never ever slamming all of these tank items on like anybody? Is that it doesn't really
Oh no,
matter?
yeah, I definitely should be slamming like probably like a declaw stone plate on like Rel or something. I
Okay.
think.
Yeah. Maybe we're just considering like to full greed those until creeps, but
Yeah. Yeah, it's more just like talking at the same time,
sure.
and also like it's not gonna win the fights anyways, so
Yeah. I mean, it
that's not
gets
the biggest deal.
distracting. Yeah, for sure. No problem. So we have to play about, what is it? It's still 5 frontliners, right? So it's 5 frontliners. Oh, wait, sorry. 4 frontliners, right? Rakan, Garen, Leona, and
Yeah, Garen, Rakan, Zante. We can optionally like frontline the Syndra if we want to give like more stats to our Yumi.
sure, because the other, the weaker prodigies are not that important, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Would you say this augment overall is fine, or was it just like something that helped you with your current need that is just getting extra power?
I think it's a fine augment. Like I think there's some comps that it's like really great in, like a 6 Juggernaut setup with like one backline carry, like a Kale and Ash. Then I feel like this becomes like one of the best augments in that comp. But I think Prodigies, because the trait gives like mana regen, like they don't get any flat AP from their traits. So just taking an augment that gives like flat AP should be like really good.
Sure, makes sense. So we're actually starting 55 HP. I guess that's pretty chill. And just taking whatever item that's left over. We also have a bow. What does that turn into? Like a GS, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much only GS since we already have like Void Staff and Red Buff. So I'll be going for the sword, and if we don't get sword, I'll go for Rod. Because Rod can be a lot of damage items.
Is it like more important to close up your items than to get like potential stronger items overall? Because GS doesn't feel like a very good item in this comp, but it's just like to have the most immediate power and stay for 5, right?
Yeah, partially immediate power, partially the bow can just only ever really be a GS. And yeah, I think since we have so much AP from like the hold the line, as well as like the death cap, then like GS giving damage amp should actually be like a pretty decent item here.
Oh,
So our
sweet.
roll down was like pretty high roll here. We hit like really fast on the Yumi 2. And yeah, I think we could just probably play this board to level 9, I would assume.
Are we putting that Syndra in frontline or does it matter?
Yeah, we can frontline it. Our frontline is like a bit lacking. And I'm going to do red buff on the Malzahar because this gives AP.
Sure. Yeah, that was a really good roll down for sure. Kind of saved
Yeah,
us.
and bullet hell
Oh,
is great here.
so we have double Bis Anomaly. Is there like anything else you can consider other than Super Genius or Bullet Hell on Yumi, or not really?
Yeah, I would usually just keep rolling for like Super Genius or Bullet Hell, especially because I think we can keep this regenerative for the whole game. Like our Garen already has like over 1,000 HP from his stacks, and it's gonna like keep going up. So yeah, I would be like, since I'm happy with one of my power ups, then I can just use all of my power up removers on like the other guy to make sure that they have like the best fruit.
Sure. Is it like, do we also want to put that, that's what I was thinking about, yeah, like putting both Syndra and
Yeah,
Ezreal
since this
frontline, or only Syndra, or only Ezreal?
yeah, since this guy's a two star and this guy's 1 star, we're just gonna frontline the Ezreal
Sure.
here.
Okay, great. And you think this is good enough for like a fast 9, or we're supposed to roll again because we have 8 Garens? Like, how important is this dude at the moment?
No, I think this is good enough for a fast 9. Like I consider like Garen 2 with like, this much like 1,000 HP to be like similar to Leona 2. And I feel like if we had like Leona 2 and Yumi 2, like of course we would be like going 9 for 5 Prodigy. So I feel like I'm and my HP is quite good, so I think I'm pretty happy to just go 9 here. The 5 Prodigy spike is like really big in this comp as well. And I
Cool.
actually feel like we might be able to play for a win sometimes in this lobby.
Oh, really? Okay. What makes you feel that you could be able to play for a win from this spot?
Um well, we have like a hitting our entire board with like, like a lot of like item and like combat augments is like part of it. I think we're gonna make it to like level 9, like pretty much always this game. And we're one off Garen 3, so I feel like the Garen 3 will be like a big spike that makes us like, stronger than like an average Prodigy board.
Sure. Okay. Interesting. Do you like ever prioritize items on Seraphine in this board, or is she not that important? Like, because I know she doesn't really apply the utility items like the red buff, Morellos, and statics. She really does very bad at that. But is she like worth putting on items now in this patch, or is still not?
Yeah, I think after the buffs, she is worth putting on items, but with red buff and void staff, I always keep them on Malzahar because yeah, Seraphine just casts too slow and she applies it too poorly. And like Yumi is still the primary carry of the comp. Like a 3-item Yumi 2 will be out damaging like a 3-item Seraphine 2.
Sure, makes sense.
Yeah, so I think what we wanted to do was to move void staff to Malzahar and make a third damage item for Yumi. But blue buff and adaptive helm is pretty bad in prodigies. Prodigies don't really like mana items. So here I'm thinking about just making like a Warmogs on the Leona,
Okay,
or maybe an Anima on the Leona.
sure.
Warmogs is a bit stronger on 1-star, I would say, and then Anima is stronger on 2-star.
So like even
Um,
though even though it's not the optimal frontline item, it's just better to have good items overall than to have bad items in this Prodigy, right? Because you value the front line more than the back line.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think like since it's like 1-star, it doesn't have like a lot of HP. So like I really like Warmogs on like 1-star frontliners, and then like when you have like the 2-star frontliner, the resists and like durability becomes like more valuable stats.
And like, what about this adaptive helm with the Prodigy? Is it not really worth the interaction for the extra mana? Because you gain extra.
No, I think like meta item is just like kind of like underwhelming on Prodigy in general, and adaptive helm is also probably like a little bit of like an understated like backline item that might need some buffs. So yeah, like I don't really think Prodigies want any meta item at all, and I would rather just make a tank item and like keep the voice staff, which is like still giving 35 AP, which is like quite a good amount of AP.
Hmm.
And yeah, maybe our like when we move it to Malzahar, he won't necessarily hit the same unit as Yumi. So yeah, I would say the goal is definitely still to move Void Staff to Malzahar, but I would be looking for like a better damage item to do that, and I wouldn't really be willing to do it for Adaptive Helm, I think.
Sure, makes sense. When would be the sweet spot for you to level? I guess standard is 5-5, right? But you won't have that like that much gold, maybe like 20, 30. Is that good enough to try and gamble for a Seraphine because we already have Yumi 2-star, or do we need to go a little bit deeper?
Yeah, I think it just depends like how these next two fights go. Like if I win these next two fights, then I'll feel like I have enough HP to wait and like stack 2 more rounds and have like max gold to play for like Seraphine 2, Leona 2. But if I lost these two fights and I was like, like 30 HP, then I would feel like I really want to spike, and I would probably level and hope that we hit like a Seraphine.
Wow, there we go. There he comes. Is it like ever worth it to stay on level 8 to play for a Balzar 3 win con? Or is 5 Prodigy way too important? Does it like rely on artifacts or something?
Yeah, I would say that that's like an artifact check. Like I would only really consider that if I had like a Blading Jewel Malzahar. But otherwise, I would say Yumi 2 like outperforms Malzahar 3, and like 5 Prodigy is like a really big spike, and Seraphine is actually like a pretty decent unit after the buffs. So
Okay.
I wouldn't really consider that unless we had like a Blading Jewel.
It's really interesting that just through raw combat power strength that we actually got here to level 9 on pretty much a win streak. Like maybe we don't win this round, but we didn't really spend that much gold. We got this Yumi 2 and then we just teleported to level 9. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I would definitely say this game was like a little bit high roll. Like we hit the Yumi 2 like very fast, even one way contested. And yeah, just having like the 2-item Garen early was like really nice. We had like a lot of wins early.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, there's nothing like too crazy about this game. Like our augments are pretty average, so
Yeah, so it's not like an easy win out because we got here, but we got here comfortably. Yeah.
mhm. Yeah. One thing I'm noticing right now is that the lobby is like very AP heavy. There's like Sorks, Prodigies. There is a couple AD guys, but I think once the AD guys die, I'll probably move the Bramble to Leona and the Declaw to Garen because that will be better in the matchups.
Plus, also this augment value is not really that great anymore, right? It's just like an early game tempo augment overall. No. Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did get a lot of tempo from it. It helped us get like a lot of Garen stacks, and there is like a couple AD players where it's like really good in that matchup. But
Oh, because this was a Seraphine. I was thinking why we were going for Spark.
oh
Okay.
yeah, I just took it for the Seraphine so I
Uh,
could like level for the guaranteed spike.
sure, sure,
After
sure.
losing that round, sacking 2 feels a little bit suspect.
Sure.
So I think I'm just gonna level, and with no pairs, I'm just gonna sit.
Okay, great. Yeah, I was thinking that like obviously the void staff is better for the Malzahar, but I didn't see it was a Seraphine. That makes a lot of sense, yeah. Do you think it's necessary to have Cassante in this comp? I mean, I know he's pretty good because of the Wraith and the extra buff, just in the unit as well, of course, but do you think it's like important to have or not really?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah.
There's actually like some fire alarm tests going on in my
Oh,
building, but
no problem, no
yes,
problem.
I think yeah, I think we definitely want to end in Cassante. Just
Mm-hmm.
didn't hit any, and the Nico 2 should be good enough for now.
Okay, great. So it's just like really adding 2 protector to your comp than specifically being Cassante, right? That's the important part about it, I guess. Okay, cool. Outplacing the crew guy, good old classic. That's nice, getting a few free placements.
Yeah, for sure. Now the top 2 is just AP, as I said, so we're probably gonna move Decon to Garen.
Great, 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 great. So you think, what would you think is needed to win out here, except other than like hitting 2 stars? Or is this like good enough already for us to win out? It's like a strong situation.
I think like Leona 2 plus Cassante 2 is probably enough to win this lobby.
Okay. Is there something specific you need to do in the Prodigy mirror that you think gives you an edge? Like you first Yumi
Well,
to
I
hit
feel
the
like my
other.
board should just be much stronger than his because my front line is better, and I also have the Yumi 2. But later on in the game, I think there probably is some positioning stuff we can do, like especially putting my Declaw Garen like in front of his Yumi to like tank that.
Okay. Can we
I think
check
would
the
be really
Garen by the
good.
way?
But
How much extra HP he has at this point? Oh yeah,
yeah, so he's around like 2,000 extra HP right now,
that's pretty sick. Yeah.
1,900.
Hmm. Cool. I would have never picked that hold the line augment. That made a lot of sense to give us extra power, but I wouldn't have gone for that direction. Just not really used to using it in these kind of comps.
Yeah, this is my first time taking it in Prodigies, but like intuitively, it should make a lot of sense of just getting the flat AP on like a trait, a comp that really likes flat stats.
Sure, sure. So we're going for a Yumi item here, right? And then we're moving that Void Staff. And if you get something like a DG, is it worth to pick that just to have a possible item for that Seraphine? Or we really need the Yumi item?
I don't think we really need the Yumi item. I think TG Seraphine would be like quite appealing here, like maybe even more so than Yumi item. But here there's no TG, and I think Gunblade is quite good, like in general, and also just like in Prodigies.
You can do your thing
When we already
and
have,
roll down if you need. Just go for it. That we can explain later.
yeah, sure, no worries. I think it's okay because I still have 2 lives.
Oh, okay, okay.
But yes, I probably should be rolling for like Leona 2 and stuff.
Oh, sweet. Got there. Nice APM, man.
Yeah, sorry. I hope the fire alarm or like whatever wasn't too distracting. I was trying to mute when I wasn't talking.
It's okay, it's okay. I mean, stuff happens. We all have things going on in our lives.
It was
Gunblade is also
quite
really good in
unfortunate
this
timing.
matchup, by the way, right? Because it also helps us survive against the source
Yeah, it
players.
helps us survive the Gwen.
Oh. Oh, we're actually winning
This
this.
fight is pretty close, but the Garen is doing like a great job of tanking since we moved the Declaw onto him and over 2,000 HP now.
And it's a Prodigy mirror to end the party. Now we're so close to finishing off the board. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's trying to go. He's pumping level 10 right now, I think, or is he just rolling down? Oh, okay. I don't think he's doing anything. I'm gonna be rolling though. Seraphine 2. As I said, I really like to keep the Void and the red buff on Malzahar because Seraphine just doesn't apply well enough.
Sure. Makes sense. Is it
And,
ever like a consideration to put like Spark on her just because of the conversion of stats, or not really?
I think I would just. There is some consideration, but my Void Staff might not be hitting every unit, so I feel like I would want it in the front line, just in case. Like for example, here my Malzahar is gonna be like casting on the Leona, but my Yumi is gonna be like hitting the Rakan. So like the Spark is gonna give us like extra damage on the Rakan still.
Sure. Okay. So
And
we
yeah,
really
Spark
just
doesn't
want
really
her.
give a lot of stats.
Okay, you're right. Because she really benefits from like the double items, right? Like Deathblade, Decap, and all of this. Yeah. Okay. Smooth. It's really interesting that we were both playing Prodigy. Oh, I was actually saying that we were gonna outcap him, and then I kind of cursed you. Sorry.
No, that's okay. I think my positioning was not too great there. As I said, like I think we really want the Garen in front of the Yumi, so that's what I'm gonna focus on in terms of positioning for this next fight.
Is there like
And
ever a
yeah, one
way
trick.
for you to like get with your Yumi to his Yumi, or does that never like really happen?
I think there is some way. Like, I think if my Garen was in front that fight, I would kill his front line faster than he would kill my front line because my Garen is a bit tankier than his Leona. So I think we could try like if our Yuumi is same side, but really the most important thing should just be putting our like Garen in front of our Yuumi. So like what happens last fight doesn't happen again.
Sure, makes sense. What do you do with these kind of 50-50 situations? Do you just kind of go with your gut when you're swapping positions? Because it kind of feels like if you read the correct position in front of your opponent, you're going to gain so much. Does that like ever matter to you, or you just kind of go wherever it feels best?
Um, yeah, I usually try to like hover scout my most important unit and then just drop it at the very last second. Like you can like pick up a unit and then like scout their board
Mm-hmm.
and then like use like a hockey like spacebar to tab back and then drop it at the last second. So that's usually what I go for. Oh, this fight was actually quite unfortunate because if our Yuumi got the cast off, we would have won.
It's close. What are we looking for here? Blue off Yumi,
Uh, yeah, I
Nashors.
think like blue or adaptive is going to go on Seraphine, and
Oh,
since he took the blue buff, then
okay.
I'm just going to go with the adaptive on Seraphine.
Yeah, maybe if she casts a bit earlier, it will actually make a difference. Yeah. How about the GA going on the Kaisante, like just to gain some time on front lane? Is that doing something?
Um, yeah, we could actually remove it and like maybe like late slam the Edge of Night like on a key unit. I like that idea a lot actually. It doesn't necessarily have to be the Cassante, but like let's say he's targeting like our Malzahar, we like slam it as the Yuumi is shooting it, and then it will waste like a lot of
Sure.
bullets.
Like if you can scam a quick fight. Is it? We also should put the tier on the Seraphim, right? Just to get the
Yeah.
earlier cast. Cool. So let's see how we do that now. This unstoppable thing is so broken, man.
Yeah, it's really annoying to play against. Even more annoying when you're playing like a melee carry.
Especially then, yeah. It's really hard for me to read these fights until the last Yumi cast, but I guess his scaling is just much higher, right? Because he's got the... Oh, okay, never mind.
Nice. Yeah,
Great.
so we won this one. He's still going to be 2 live, so we're going to have to win 2 more fights.
What is
Looks like
there to
he's looking to go
do?
level 10.
Yeah. So what's your and his level 10 goal? Is it just like a Syra? Or because it's...
Yeah, I think Azira is like really good.
Okay,
Um, if we could hit, like double Yumi 2 or like double Leona 2, then we could also play that as well. So I'll probably hold this extra Leona.
sure.
Yeah, and I think one thing that I wasn't doing earlier was like my Malzahar was here and his Leona was here, so my Malzahar was auto attacking like this unit, and then like the Leona wasn't getting hit by like the Void Staff. So I'm gonna just put them like right next to each other now.
And there's not really that much AoE for you to be worried about the counterpart, right?
hmm Yeah, maybe the fights get a little bit easier because our Garen is getting like some more stacks. Like we have an extra like 400 HP since like the first time we fought, so it's not like a huge deal, but it should help a little bit.
It's like a free double Warmux or maybe even triple Warmux on the unit.
hmm
So crazy. Okay, that's looking good for now. Yeah. Wow. It really looks like there's that much of a difference just putting that item on Seraphine. That's huge.
Yeah, she's casting a lot earlier. The tier is probably also helping, and she's like doing a good job of like killing all the like weak like Syndra and Zyra, and then my Yuumi doesn't like waste a cast on it.
So the goal is, I guess, to get another item for her, whatever that is.
Yeah,
And then,
third Seraphine item would be definitely nice, and I guess we might just remove her the Edge of Night and try to like cheese it again, like similar to what we did like a couple fights ago.
what do you do in these situations when you don't have like enough money to go level 10 and you can't go for a 3-star forecast? Just like
Um,
wait and sit on the gold, I guess.
yeah, if I didn't have enough money to go for level 10, I mean, I can't really roll down here because he's holding my units, so I would probably just like you could roll down for like Ezreal 2, or you could just spend the time focusing on like positioning.
Sure, for sure. You do you, and we'll talk about it later.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just gonna roll for Zyra. We got a Zyra. We could put the plant in like the second row. Maybe it can take some Yumi bullets.
Does the plant
Archangel
count
should
for
be
the
really good.
hold the line, or does it not? Or
Oh, that's actually a good point. I'm not entirely sure. It says champions, but we can try it. I could Archangel the Yumi, but with the death cap, I'm just gonna put it on Seraphine.
okay, great. I mean, it's just an extra body, right? Anyway, the Zyra plant, so that's nice.
Yeah, we can check how much we get. 50. So yeah, it doesn't seem to work, but
Okay. So why was second row better then? Because of resetting after the tank kills, or?
yeah, I just figured that it would like it probably does more damage than like my tanks because it's like shooting and like doing like 100 damage per cast, and
Wow.
so Seraphine got a really good cast there, so he actually managed to win this game, which is
Well,
really
that's pretty
nice.
sweet, man. That was some nice navigating. I mean, I know you high rolled at Yumi too, but still pretty nice line. Pretty cool, pretty cool.
Yeah, I feel like the Garen like actually really carried our game because like if we were doing like on level 8, like Yumi 2 plus Leona 1, we probably wouldn't have been like nearly as stable. And maybe we would have had to like keep rolling until we had like a Leona 2 or something. But because we just played around the Garen 2 with like 1000 HP, then we were able to like go 9 and cap like really high.
So that's like the extra potential, right? That this comp offers. Just the Garen buffs and get that strong early, mid, and even late game, right? Thanks to our one cost. Because do you think it would have been that much different with a Garen 2-star? Like maybe harder to win this, or maybe impossible?
Um, it would definitely like the Garen 3-star definitely helped, but yeah, the difference between Garen 2-star and 3-star is like much less than you would expect because that flat like 2,500 HP that we were getting, that barely scales with the star level at all. So the only thing that's scaling is he's getting like a little bit more base HP, and then the spell is like a little bit stronger. But yeah, that's why I find Garen 2 to be like a really viable tank in the late game because the like flat like 2,000 HP that we were getting doesn't really change much with the star level.
Sweet. Makes sense. So pretty cool game, man. Learned a lot. Hope people liked it. And if you want to say anything to your viewers or subscribers or shout out.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been streaming on Twitch like most days at twitch.tv/WationIverson, and I also started doing YouTube recently. Maybe this will also get posted on my YouTube. The YouTube is also Wation Iverson. So yeah, I appreciate you for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool session, man. So pleasure to have you. I hope to see you sometime soon, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a nice day, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.